Good morning, Yankees Nation. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. And today, our live stream slash open panel is going to be once more into the breach. Today is the last game that we have for spring training. The Yankees will be locking it up with the Miami Marlins today at 1:10. For those of you that are interested, I will be doing the play-by-play for that game. I'll be online uh, roughly at 1:05 uh, this afternoon. So hop on board if you want to listen to some play-by-play, and I'll enjoy broadcasting the game for y'all. We are sitting 2 days away from the opening of the 2025 season for the Yankees. Uh, our schedule is a bit interesting in the fact that our first three series are going to be against National League teams. Uh, we'll open in the stadium against the Brewers for a 3 game set. Then the Diamondbacks come to town, and then we'll be on the road heading to Pittsburgh to meet up with the Pirates. We don't face our first American League team until the next set. We'll be on the road, and that'll be in Detroit. Uh, I want to give a quick shout out to those of you that are here. I appreciate your support. We have Jonathan, who's listening in. 01, John the Beagle Dad, uh, and Cold Italian Pizza. So thank you for your support. Thank you for showing up. Uh, throughout the Yankee universe, it seems like fans are from one extreme to the next. A lot of see Dirty Jesus hopping in. Welcome, brother. Uh, I think it's about a 50-50 split that fans don't think that we'll even make the playoffs. Uh, and the other half has us running it back to the World Series. Uh, is it going to be an easy season for us? No. We've had some critical injuries to our starting rotation, our DH, uh, and some bullpen arms that are uh, lingering from injuries. Right now, our starting rotation has been locked down, and we're going to end up with Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, Will Warren, and Hector Carrasco as our starting five. Uh, the importance for us is going to be our bullpen, I think. We have arms that can get us through 5, maybe 6 innings. But we're going to rely heavily upon the bullpen. The Yankees acquired left-handed relief pitcher yesterday, Yarbrough. We've seen him as a Tampa Bay Ray. He was quite effective against us. This spring, he was released from the Blue Jays. He had a decent spring training, and is going to be the second left-hand acquisition that we have out in the bullpen. Looks like our bullpen this season is going to start out with Yarbrough, Gomez, Leiter Jr., Hill, Hamilton, Weaver, Williams, and Fernando Cruz. We do have waiting in the wings Jake Cousins, Scott Effross, Brubaker. I think there are a couple more out there, not coming to the top of my head. So I think that we'll have a revolving door out in the pen. Uh, the pitcher that has impressed me the most out of the bullpen this spring training is Yandere Gomez. He has been in 6 games, has not given up a run, has looked very, very impressive to me. Uh, the uh, the fire is in his heart. You can tell he is throwing, and he is not walking batters like he did last couple of seasons that we've seen him. And I think that he could be an effective long guy that we have. Uh, hope that he keeps his performance up, but he's done a great job in spring. Uh, the the chatter on the Twitterverse and other YouTube channels is they are expecting a last minute move by Cashman to bring in a right-handed bat and a corner infielder slash or third baseman slash corner outfielder. Uh, who that could be, I have no clue. Uh, I've looked at the DFA list. I've seen the releases that are out there, and I just don't see an impact player that we can make a trade for. Um, the interesting ones that are out there that have either opted out of contracts or been released. Uh, been a lot of rumors about Brandon Drury. He was released by the Sox. I think I had a little bit of a hiccup there. Uh, the uh, the problem with Drury is he's dealing with a broken finger, and he is not going to be readily available. So I can't see the Yankees making a move to uh, sign him. Another interesting one is Garrett Hampstead or Hampson. He was in spring with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He plays second, shortstop, and third. He has experience out in left and right field as a Rocky. He hit a little over 300 this spring training, and opted out of his contract with Arizona. He's an interesting player to me, and maybe somebody that we can sign and bring on board. But if you look at the body of his work, he's a low 200s hitter. He does have speed. Uh, he is a solid glove across the board. However, we have that with Oswald Peraza. Do you guys think that Peraza has done enough to make the major league roster this season? Throughout the spring training, it seems that he has displayed his usual acumen with regard to his fielding, his glove work. He's been the highly touted number one glove in the Yankee organization. His bat started out hot. He was hitting a little over 333, uh, constantly on base, good eye. But as spring progressed on, he is hitting below 200. Uh, and I don't know. I don't think he's done enough to keep him uh, on our roster, and obviously he has no options left. So he will probably become a casualty of spring training and either be uh, DFA'd or traded. Uh, and that is a shame. Peraza was a top 10 prospect for us for several years. He competed directly with Anthony Volpe for the shortstop job and lost out on that. And has never really been given the opportunity to play with the big club since Peraza took over, or excuse me, Volpe took over, going on 3 seasons now. Uh, all right. As always, hey Stephen B, welcome. This is an open panel, and I'm dropping the link down. So if you're interested in coming on board, click the link and we will bring you up because definitely interested in hearing everyone's opinion. Uh, as far as I can tell, uh, welcome, Dev. I didn't see you hop in. Uh, as far as I can tell, it looks like our bench is going to consist of, uh, I think Pablo Reyes punched his ticket yesterday in the Mets game. Great glove work in the outfield. Hit another home run, uh, and has done extremely well this spring training for us. Uh, JC Escara got the nod from Aaron Boone on Saturday, and he will be our backup catcher. He's done a spectacular job also. And then Trent Grisham should certainly is certainly going to be our backup outfielder, number 4. Impeccable glove. He's actually been hitting the long ball, so he may get uh, even more at bats during the regular season. Uh, Question is, who's the 4th bench piece going to be? Are the Yankees going to uh, keep Peraza in that slot? Are we making a trade to bring somebody in? Uh, and it looks as if Ben Rice is going to start the season out as the Yankees DH in the absence of John Carlos Stanton. We still don't have a really clear picture on what's going on with Big G. As usual, the front office hasn't really been uh, forthright uh, with regard to what the injury situation has been with our players. Uh, I know that, for instance, Clark Schmidt is going to start the 2025 campaign on the IL. However, he is not injured; he's just not stretched out. Uh, the injury to Cousins, he's been throwing bullpens, and we haven't seen him. So don't know when exactly uh, he is going to be ready for the roster. Then we have Jonathan Loizaga, who we re-signed this offseason. Incredible young pitcher when he's on the field. Uh, he has closer stuff, and could figure into the 7, 8, 9 combination to close games out for us. All right. I see Jonathan in the background, and I'm going to bring him up. Morning,
Hi.
Jonathan. How are you?
I wasn't sure if I was gonna be. I have a few extra minutes, so I'll just chime in for a minute or two. I
Well, it's
mean,
been a while
look,
since you've been on, but it's appreciated.
Peraza is a very unfortunate event, but I think his showing in spring training. I don't think there's a place for him long term on on the Yankees. I think he will get traded or dropped. And that's unfortunate because the Yankees had many opportunities to trade him for a much better piece. But I'm just hoping the Yankees are thinking more long term going forward rather than short term because, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, they've been thinking very short term. Because they had there was really no discussion right after. Uh, there was very little discussion in regard to Soto. I mean, I know he wanted a lot of money and they got a bigger offer for the Mets, but the same goes with many other players. They traded a ransom for Montas and they got nothing for him. And I'm tired of the Yankees traded for injured players. They have a bad history of either drafting or trading injured players.
That's why I don't think that the we're going to bring the player on from the White Sox, Brandon Drury,
No,
because he has
no, no.
got the got the broken finger, and that would be just repeating the same pattern of injured
No,
players. And
if the Yankees wanted Drury, they should have kept him when they had him
well,
because he was on the team. What was it, 4 years ago or something like that?
yeah, and he wasn't very good then either. So
No, but I mean the Yankees have to do a better job at evaluating their own talent. In my opinion, they have to know when to get rid of it, when to trade talent, and they have to know when to keep talent. And the problem with the Yankees is they've been hyping up all their talent in the minor leagues, and the other teams have been seeing what the Yankees, past the Yankees' words, past their bullshit, because they like them in the Rule 5 draft, but when it comes to trade them, they want more than the Yankees are comfortable giving, and that may seem like the Yankees' talent is not as uh, desirable to other teams as they are to the Yankees. So
well,
I
the farm
think
systems rank what?
the Yankees need to do a better job at drafting, which they have in recent drafts. I think so, and also signing in the international market because they let a lot of guys go in their pursuit of the Japanese pitcher who, well, with the Japanese pitcher, Sasaki, Roki Sasaki.
Sasaki.
Yeah. So if well, if they had an idea that they weren't going to get Sasaki, which was clear, it was almost clearly he was always favored to go to the West Coast. That was the feeling that I had. So if the Yankees, the one Japanese player I think that's favored to go to the Yankees is the Murakami. So next year when Murakami's on, I wouldn't be surprised if he signed with the Yankees. But Sasaki, I know he's a nice young pitcher and very desirable, but he was never favored to go to the East Coast.
Well,
So,
when Sasaki put his demands out for this spring, he was looking at a team that developed young pitching uh, that was going to compete in the postseason. Uh, he wanted to see the long term plans for future success, farm system, and when I saw those demands come out, I knew that the Yankees weren't really going to be at the top of that pillar. The
and
only
may and it's probably a good thing because it has. If the Yankees have to reevaluate their current situation, they have to see what can bring a young Japanese pitcher here. We have to evaluate a young talent. We have to stop trading good talent for old crap that's going to help us maybe 1 year. Like, for example, Montas, who was hurt, and Gallo, who did nothing. I mean, I think that Gallo trade, in my opinion, I never liked it. And we gave up a young second baseman, Josh Smith, who could help us who could have helped us this year, and in replacing Torres. So look, I just think the Yankees have to reevaluate everything that they're doing and do better with the farm system, do better with the drafting and developing.
well, the Yankees had touted Durbin as Torres's heir apparent replacement.
And they
Had him up
traded him.
with the team during the World Series, getting exposure to that type of media and pressure. Uh, and without a doubt, I thought that he was going to uh, get the legitimate shot at second base. Well, when
Yes.
we brought
And
Devin
then
Williams on, uh, Durbin is gone. He's one of the two trade pieces that we used. Cortez being the other one, uh, but the Brewers have sent Durbin down or have signed him to minor league training camp. So if the Brewers didn't think that he had what took to stick in the majors and be successful, I don't think that he would have done that much better here in Tampa with us.
well, he was also an older minor leaguer. I think he's what, 24, 25 years old.
Something like that.
Yeah, the Yankees. When was the last time the Yankees brought up a kid who was, besides Volpe, who was 20 or 21 years old and actually was good for a long period of time? Maybe Jeter?
Well, I suppose we're going to find out with Jason Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez. He's the next guy up. Anyway, I have to
The
get to work. It's good to talk to you. So maybe next time I can spend a little bit longer. But I
I
had a
appreciate
work.
you supporting the
I
hobby.
had a schedule in my week this week, and I can't stay on very long.
That's
Bye.
great, John. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. We will holler at you later. Thanks for supporting. Hey, FJ and CT, I seen both of y'all and Nosebleed hop in. Um, Once again, open panel, dropping the link. Anybody who wants to hop on board and uh, give us their words of wisdom, more than welcome. Appreciate you. Uh, the Yankees with this upcoming season don't seem really uh, inspired by our choices at third base. A lot of fans are holding out for a last second Arenado trade or something that's going to uh, shift the balance of power for us in the American League. I just don't see that player out there. I think the team that we have is the team that we have. And in my personal opinion, the team is very good. Uh, it is. a much different Yankees look than there was in 2024 with Juan Soto. Granted, we have lost some of his power, but throughout the spring, it's been interesting to see that we have gotten home runs from all over the spectrum. As a matter of fact, during spring training, the Yankees are leading all major league franchises in home runs. We led them last year through the regular season, so may have more pop out there than fans are predicting. Additionally, hard hit rate. The top 10 uh, players with the highest exit velocity this spring training are Yankees. Ben Rice is the number one player with a exit velo of, I want to say, 97.3. He is attacking the ball. He reported into spring training with uh, about 15 pounds more muscle mass than he had last season, and he is making solid contact with the ball. Uh, Number three on that list is Cody Bellinger, and the last one is Paul Goldschmidt. So two out of our three new acquisitions are really hitting the heck out of the ball. Uh, FJ, was there any news about Reyes making the team? There's not been anything official, but I think that it's a foregone conclusion. If you look at the Yankees depth chart, he is moved up to the top utility player uh, for multiples in the infield, and actually, uh, I think that with his performance yesterday, even in the outfield, and him hitting another dinger, that he's punched his ticket for the majors this season. Uh, I am encouraged this spring training at the way last year we beat teams into submission with the home run. This year, even in spring training, I've seen a great shift in situational hitting. We may not always score the runs, but we're at least making smart, productive outs where uh, runners are advancing, getting into scoring position, and giving us an opportunity to punch them in. Uh, the uh, team last year, situational hitting wise, was freaking horrible. I would lose hair, get upset when I was doing play by plays with NFE, would be losing my stuff because of runners at second, third, bases loaded with one out, and we would score nothing. See Mario hopping in. Welcome, brother. Appreciate you joining the stream and supporting the channel. Thank you. Uh, Somewhere up there, I have posted a link to hop in the live stream to be part of a panel. If you're interested, click and I will bring you on. Interested in hearing what you may have to say and what you may think about this upcoming season. Uh, this season uh, is not going to be a cakewalk. I think we're going to have a rotating uh, train for bullpen arms. I think we're going to see that come the latter part of the after the All Star break with the starting rotation. Uh, you're right. Last season wasn't a cakewalk because we decided to take 6 weeks off and not play. However, I don't think we're going to see another 6 week venture where we can't win a game at all, John. Uh, this spring training, the Yankees are averaging 5.25 uh, runs per game. We averaged during the regular season 5 runs. We're actually averaging more runs in spring training than we did during the regular season. The Yankees were shut out a lot, uh, and with the Yankee roster, used to drive me crazy. I don't see as many shutouts. Yankees also hit into a ton of double plays, killing drives, killing innings, uh, killing rallies. Uh, this year, we are actually hitting into less double plays than 90% of the teams in spring training. So we are making decent contact, advancing runners, and scoring runs. Defense has been improved from last year. It's not perfect, uh, as evident yesterday when Jazz booted a ground ball, which should have been a double play and resulted in runs being scored. However, uh, you can still see that the infield defense is much improved, even with a rotation of Oswaldo Cabrera, Oswald Peraza, and uh, Reyes filling in at third base. Uh, see Sean Browning there. Cold Italian pizza. Interesting point. Yankees played like crap for 6 weeks, but still won 93 games. If we don't have a dead spot like that again this year, what do you think we end up with? A lot of the predictive analytics people are guesstimating that we're going to be about an 80 split win team after the injuries to Cole, Hill, and Stanton. We are even projected to be the fourth place team in the AL East and not to make the playoffs. Uh, I think that's bullshit. I think we're definitely a playoff caliber team, and that's why we play the games. Like to give the media a big opportunity to eat a shit burger and take back all the crap that they're saying about us now. Uh, and FJ brings up another point that the Yankees have been willing to run this spring. And that is definitely going to be part of the game plan for this season. A lot of double steals. Yankees are also taking the extra bases, uh, first, a lot of first to third shots for runners. And I don't think that our third base coach has gotten anyone gunned at the plate this spring training that I've seen. So I'd appreciate that a lot more. Let's see. Sean Browning has a prediction. That is not it. There it is. That Judge will hit 60 home runs this year, 60 plus. What do y'all think about that? Welcome, Bill P. Real Bill. Appreciate you hopping on and supporting the channel. Uh, the stream is blowing up. I see a lot of comments, and let's see. We have CT thinking that Judge is going to hit at least uh, 50 home runs this season. Interesting side note about Judge. last season, towards the end, uh, Judge home run tally had him over 300. And with the length of his contract, Judge only has to hit 27 home runs a season to reach the 500 home run plateau uh, as a Yankee before his contract expires, which I think is definitely attainable. Keys, I think, will be giving him, uh, as he gets older, more time uh, out of the field. But he is an incredible defensive right fielder. He has uh, not won a gold glove, and I'm amazed at that. However, he is definitely a plus defender. His arm is second to none, uh, and his bat has been consistent. He historically has started out the season a little bit slow, and then he kicks it off and goes into God mode. And I don't see any change in that pattern happening. Uh, all right, and our starting looks like to be players for this team are going to be Judge, Bellinger, and Dominguez in the outfield. Uh, Ben Rice as our DH. Austin Wells behind the dish. Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Volpe, and Oswaldo Caprera compromising the uh, rest of the infield. Better defensively, speed, uh, and when you look at Goldschmidt and say speed and start laughing, he did have 11 stolen bases last season, and he was not caught. Welcome, Sunil. So I think that there is plenty of reason for optimism for our 2025 Yankees. Are there teams that are improved in the AL East? Certainly, the Red Sox have made a leap. Uh, they have brought in some very good pitchers. Uh, they signed Bregman, who hits like a beast at Fenway, but you only play 81 games there. And uh, the team has historically had problems scoring. Uh, does Bregman change the composite of that? I don't think so. He is another power hitter. If he hits solo home runs, great. Uh, Red Sox, are they improved? Well, certainly they are. Are they in a position to overtake us uh, in the AL East? Possibly, but I don't think likely. Uh, the Orioles lost Corbin Burns, did not truly replace him. I think that their starting five is in disarray. Uh, they've signed some players to help fortify them. They brought back former Yankee catcher Gary Sanchez as a backup. How he'll do in Baltimore, God knows. Tyler O'Neill was brought in to uh, basically replace Anthony Santander. Definitely a fastball player, has pop in his bat, has a long injury history, uh, starting back to his days in St. Louis. So while he's on his feet on the field, he'll be productive. It's a question how long he's going to be there. And the Orioles re-signed Cedric Mullins, who has been a Yankee killer historically, uh, but it seems like he's going to play more DH than anything. So I think personally that the Orioles have declined with regard to uh, their standing from last year. Tampa Bay, they're hard to call. It's going to be a hodgepodge. Uh, Kevin Cash works miracles with that squad. Uh, One of the things that actually two things that were concerning last year is how bad the Yankees played at home. We were barely a 500 team playing in our own house. And that's something that definitely has to change this season. The other thing that was very concerning is how bad we played against American League East teams. Uh, Boston exposed us early in the season to uh, having issues with left handed pitchers, where we made Patrick Corbin, the worst pitcher in the major leagues, look like he was freaking Cy Young. Uh, they ran on us a lot, and that became the template for teams playing the Yankees, especially in the East, to throw out as many left-handers as they possibly could. Didn't matter if they were crap or not because we couldn't hit them, and to run at will. We were going to not be able to check runners or throw runners out, and I think that contributed majorly to how how poorly we played against the East. This year's acquisitions and lineup changes with Bellinger, Goldschmidt, uh, Ascara, Reyes, possibly Reyes. Hopefully, like I said, I believe he punched his ticket yesterday. All hit left-handed pitching very well at the 290 or higher rate. So that I think will be a countermeasure for the left-handed pitchers. Austin Wells, good catcher, good defense, very good bat. May actually end up being our leadoff hitter for at least the first part of the season. My personal opinion, and mine alone, is his Achilles heel is making the throw to second. I made fun of him last season about airmailing throws to Judge out in center field, and a lot of Yankee fans, especially ones in this channel, seem to ride me and remind me of that at every apparent opportunity. Uh, has he improved over spring? I haven't really seen a lot of him throwing. I did see him throw a runner out, which surprised me at that point, and I made a comment. However, uh, this is his second year. Well, actually, truly his first full year of being the starting everyday catcher. So uh, we are going to see him develop. Hopefully, he doesn't get tired and uh, his bat doesn't decline like it did in a couple of interviews I was watching. Uh, Wells was asked directly that uh, what attributed to his decline in August, September, and actually the postseason. I have my brother, special guest NFE from the Strike Zone, waiting, so I'm going to bring him up. Hello, brother. How's it going?
What's going on, Ken? How you feeling, man?
Another day in paradise. We have Yankee baseball right around the corner. The season starts on Thursday, and you will be calling the live play by play. So look forward to listening to that. NFE is a great content creator. Most of y'all know that because you're subscribed to his channel. However, what you probably don't realize is I had the support from NFE in the Strike Zone, uh, Max from Max Coverage TV, Jason from 161, that inspired me to start this channel. Uh, right now, we're at 72 subscribers. I mean, we're a couple months in, pretty much started with spring training. So we're growing slowly but surely. And I appreciate the support and the inspiration that y'all did to help me start this thing up. And the behind the scenes advice when I call you, like, how do you do thumbnails? Or what the hell's this shit with StreamYard that's pissing me off?
Yeah, no, anytime, man.
So
It's
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Try to pay it forward as much as we possibly can.
Uh, we have been talking about once more into the breach, the brink of the uh, 2025 season for the Yankees. With regard to, we started out with rotation, moved on to bullpen. Uh, one of the questions that we still have, there hasn't been an official notification for Pablo Reyes making the opening day roster, and there appears to be another bench slot that's open. There's been discussions about Oswald Peraza possibly fitting in one of those slots, or whether we're going to DFA. What do you think?
I mean, at this point, third base is it's still open. Would I be surprised if Peraza doesn't make it? At this point, no. I don't. At now, I don't. I was hoping Peraza would be your starting third baseman. I was definitely rooting for him over Cabrera and DJ LeMahieu. But now, again, I don't see Peraza making it just because I think Peraza is either going to get traded or DFA'd. I mean, I know he hasn't been told whether or not he's making the roster, but third base as of right now, I mean, it's up for grabs. It's still open. All the other positions are guaranteed, but I don't know who holds the. I don't know who's going to win that spot. I honestly do not know, but I at this point I do not think it is going to be Peraza.
I will tell you, during spring training, looking at the performance of young Yorbit Vivas, I thought that he was going to be a lock to be on the opening day roster, but the Yankees sent him down a week ago. So obviously that's not going to happen. And solid glove, and definitely hitting the cover off the ball. Uh, Pablo Reyes has been showing his positional versatility and has been hitting well and plays third base. Uh, my personal opinion is that Oswaldo Cabrera's uh, benefit to the team is his positional versatility, and I think we actually hurt him by locking him in as a everyday third baseman. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I mean Cabrera, in my opinion, should continue to be the guy that comes off the bench. He's not an everyday player. It's not a knock against him. It's just he's not an everyday player. I think he's a guy that comes off the bench. He's a Swiss Army knife, and he fills in wherever he's needed. So that's my take on Oswaldo Cabrera. So I mean, it boils down to either Peraza or Pablo Reyes, and I know the Yankees are looking for a righty bat, but who's out there? Who's out there that they can get? Are they looking for a righty bat to play, for the outfield or the infield? I mean, that's the bigger question. I would imagine they should be looking for an infielder for third base, but your options are limited. I mean, again, I ask everybody, and I'll ask you, like, who's out there? Who could they get?
Well, they had Brandon Drury released from the White Sox, but he has a broken, is it thumb, I think?
It's a fractured thumb, yes.
So he's not going to start the season playing. He's hit very well during spring training, but I think that the injury precludes us from bringing him on board. Uh, uh, Garrett Hampson opted out of his contract with the Diamondbacks uh, a few days ago, and he is a versatile player that can definitely hold down third base. It's one of the positions that he played. However, and this spring training, he hit extremely well. He was over 300 as a hitter. However, historically throughout his career, he's about a 220 hitter. So spring training things tend to be up and then rotate down to the norms. So he'll be probably a 220 to 240 hitter in the Bronx, which is what we have with Peraza, and Peraza is probably a better glove. Uh, I've seen a lot of posts about folks wanting to bring on Arenado, and I can't agree with that even remotely. His spring hasn't looked good. The times that he's locked up against us, he hasn't looked good. See Max from Max Coverage TV hopping on. Uh, Welcome, brother. Appreciate the support. Why wouldn't they televise the game today?
Oh, they're not televising the games today. I didn't know that.
I thought that it was. Let me check. At least it was scheduled to be televised. Huh. It looks like yesterday when I looked at it, it was the Marlins feed, but doesn't appear to be there. So if there's not a televised cast for today's game, then I guess I won't be doing the play-by-play. Thanks for the heads up, and we'll look closer to game time. I may hop on at the beginning of the game just to give a shout out. But as we said, today is the last game of spring training for us, and is there anybody who's going to show us a performance against the Marlins that's going to push them over the edge to make our final roster spots? I think there are two of them that are available, probably just one. Uh, how do you feel about the bench this year compared to what we had last year?
I think the bench this time. I think the bench is going to be. I think it's going to be better this time around. I think they have better options on their bench. You got a guy like Ben Rice, right? He'll be DHing, but he's going to be on the bench. But he could also fill in at first base, and in an emergency, he could play catcher if needed. So he's a guy that could play a few different positions. Cabrera, same thing. JC Escara, he's going to be your backup catcher. He could also DH. So that's not going to, that won't be, there won't be an issue there. So, I, I, I think their bench is better set up than where they were last year. And I make the joke that, you don't have your JD Davises and the Jahmai Joneses of the world on your bench. So they have much better options on their bench this year. I feel a little bit more confident in their bench for this season.
Right now, for what I'm envisioning, we have Escobar on the bench, left-handed hitter. We have Trent Grisham on the bench, another left-handed hitter. We have Ben Rice uh, sitting at the DH slot, another left-handed hitter. Pablo Reyes, a right-handed hitter. Uh, and I could see if they why they're looking for a right-handed bat to come into the lineup because Sunil and freaking pickleball. Huh. Uh, why they would be looking for a right-handed bat because we have a lot of left-handed hitting players on this squad.
Well, and yeah, that's why I think they're looking for a righty bat. I mean, that's why they decided to. That's why Dominic Smith opted out, uh, because he's a lefty bat. So they're looking for a righty bat. Personally, if I had to guess, I don't think they're going to get anybody. I think they're going to stick with who they have. And I don't know if it's me, guys, but is Ken frozen up?
I agree with you.
Okay.
A little bit of bounce, but you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I think the team that we have is the team that we have. I don't see us making another act. Yarborough for the bullpen for another uh, left-handed left-handed arm uh, to pair up with Tim Hill. But as far as bats out there, I don't really see an impact guy, and unless Cash waves his magic wand and brings somebody on board, I just don't see who that could possibly be.
I can't think of anybody right now. Like I said, there's not really a whole lot of options. Um, the guy that would have made sense, eh, if things worked out in a perfect world, it would have been Arenado. But I looked up his stats for spring training, and they're pretty atrocious. They're not great. But that could also, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but it could also be the fact that he's still playing in St. Louis. He's in St. Louis. He doesn't want to be there, and therefore, maybe it's affecting his game. I could very well be wrong, but it could also just be that he's his performance is declining now, as he's getting a little bit older. So, yeah, I'm glad the Yankees, now that I'm looking at it, I'm glad the Yankees didn't go after Arenado, but I know a lot of Yankees fans were wanting them to sign Alex Bregman too, but I definitely wasn't one of them. And
No.
after I asked the question of like, hey, is Alex Bregman to you all? Is Alex Bregman worth $40 million? Is he worth as much as Aaron Judge? And if you tell me yes, I have to question. I mean, everybody has a right to their opinion. I understand. I get it. So, he's not Aaron Judge, right? So, I ultimately, like I said, I think the Yankees just stick with what they have, and they might sign another one or two pitchers, maybe, if at best, for like as depth pieces.
I think that the team that we have is the team that we're going to stick with. Uh, hopefully make some acquisitions at the trade deadline with folks that are coming available. There was an article that was posted this morning about Jordan Montgomery being shot to the Diamondbacks bullpen, and them still shopping him, possibly move him. I don't see the Yankees as being that team. Uh, Looking at possible trade pieces, I don't even know who we would uh, put in that kind of a package to get Montgomery. Montgomery hasn't pitched well. He pitched like crap last season. This spring training, he hasn't been very impressive either. So I'm not sure that a return to the Bronx would inspire him to be any better a pitcher than he was with Arizona.
I don't see both sides reuniting, and personally, I don't really want Montgomery back. Um, Last season, I was saying maybe it's a possibility when he was a free agent, but for I don't know if even the two sides even discussed, and if they did, what was the contract that he was what were the numbers that they discussed? But I certainly was not going. If I'm Brian Cashman, I'm definitely not trying to give him uh you know I'm not trying to give him 25 to 30 million a year. I certainly wasn't on board with that. Um, so I guess if there's one guy they could trade for, but it's not going to happen. You know, it's probably gonna be Dylan Cease. I know the Yankees were in on him last year, but and I know some folks were willing to trade Spencer Jones for him. I wasn't one of them, but maybe if at the time if Dylan Cease maybe had like 3 or 4 more years of control, yeah, you might. I was like, you know what, you might sign me up for that. But for him having 2 years of control, and he's Dylan Cease is he's a good pitcher. I wouldn't call him an ace, but he's a good pitcher. Uh, Again, my take on that. You know, I know some folks may feel different.
Uh, Personally, moving Jones for Cease last season was a no go for me. I was only going to move Jones for very specific players. Uh, I would have considered it for Corbin Burns last year, uh, but I would have liked to have had a chance to negotiate a contract extension with that trade being completed. Uh,
Yeah,
if the Tigers would would have put my boy Tariq Skubal uh, on the blocks, Spencer Jones would have been a thing of his. I freaking love that guy, and
I would
would
have
have
done that
loved to have
trade.
seen him as part of our rotation.
Oh,
I would
I
have
would have
done it
done the
without a
Skubal trade.
doubt.
Oh yeah, no, I would have done the Skubal trade 100%. Like I would have been like, you know what, let's do that right here, right now. For Corbin Burns last season, I still would have said no because you're getting another rental, and you know, I was I was skeptical about having two rental players on the team, and that's when they had Soto, and I didn't want to have Corbin Burns either. So I was like, one is enough. Let's just worry about the one guy that's on the team currently, and let's see if the Yankees can lock him up, which they didn't. But we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But I didn't want to have a second player like that. Like it just wasn't for me. Like for me personally, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the risk. And I like Corbin Burns. I do like Corbin Burns. Maybe if he had a few more years of control, then I'll consider it, but not for 1 year. There was no way I would have done it for 1 year.
All right, folks, we have hit the
So
1 hour mark on this stream, so we're going to close it out. I want to get NFE's last thoughts on how he feels about the 2025 season that's upcoming for the Yankees. How do
cool.
you feel?
Yeah, I'll give my final thoughts and then I'm going to jump out. So I feel good about the 2025 season, despite all the injuries, despite some of the concerns with the team. I understand, I get it. Some fans might feel, they have their doubts, and that's normal. I get it, but I do think they'll have a good season. I think they will end up, as far as wins, I originally had them at 96 wins when they had a healthy team, but I'm probably going to go down a couple of games. I'm saying 94. I'm going to say 94. I think they're going to match what they did last year. Um, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard road. It's definitely not going to be easy. They're going to have to overcome a lot of adversity. Uh, again, with Giancarlo being out, and I don't think Giancarlo is going to come back this season. I'm sticking to that. Maybe I'm proven wrong. Garrett Cole is gone for the season. He's gone. And then, Luis Hill is out for a few months, but hopefully he'll be back if everything goes according to plan. Clark Schmidt, he'll be back. It's not like he's going to miss a lot of time. He's just trying to get ramped up. So I think they have a good roster. They have a much better balanced lineup. Starting rotation, I still like who they have. It's not their starting rotation is not a complete shambles. They still have there's guys that looked great in spring training. Let's see how it translates in the regular season. Bullpen is going to be solid. I hardly ever worry about the bullpen when it comes to the Yankees because when it comes to bullpen arms, they do a good job. They do a good job of finding good arms, and Matt Blake does his job. They find these guys, some of these guys that we've never even heard of, and then they're lights out.
I agree. For me, last season on your channel, I predicted 95 wins for the season. They tabbed up at 94, and we took 6 weeks off. Uh, I think that the team this season is more well rounded than last season's. Uh, I believe that, and we're actually through spring training, we're actually scoring more runs than we did last year during the regular season. A lot of that attributed to improved situational hitting, which drove me crazy last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Yankees utilizing our speed where we're stealing a lot more than we'd contemplated in the last 10 years. I think we'll interpret to runs. Uh, Even this spring training, we hit more home runs than any other club in spring training. So I think that we have areas of hidden power that may unlock themselves during the regular season. Is it going to happen right out the gate? Probably not, because the Yankees aren't a great cold weather team. We're not playing in any dome stadiums for the first month. We are in the Bronx, Pittsburgh. Uh, so we'll see what we see. But my prediction for this season is going to be about 97 wins. I think that we take the AL East again. Uh, I don't see a prolonged slump like we've had the last 2 seasons. Uh, I think that we will see a better version of Carlos Rodon this year, uh, better than last year. And last year he tabbed 16 wins. He had 3 or 4 starts that were freaking stinky, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, he showed when he needed to show. And I think with another full year, another full season in the Bronx where he was actually healthy, that he'll pitch better this year and he'll step up and be that number 2 that we need. Uh, Clark Schmidt coming off of injury, hopefully can return to his 2023 form. Uh, and if Luis Hill holds form when he comes back, it'll be like adding Garrett Cole last year. I think it would definitely be pluses to our rotation, and I could see it carrying us into the series. Uh, I'm optimistic about this year, and I think that as an overall, the Yankees are a much better squad than they were last season. Uh, and I think that it's going to carry us. The or the AL in general is not as strong as it was last year, and I could definitely see us making it back to the World Series.
They have a shot. They have a shot. It's the AL East is going to be, it's always going to be a battle. I mean, no matter what, the Red Sox are going to be the team to worry about. I mean, originally I was thinking the Orioles because I thought the Orioles were going to go out and make some things happen, but they didn't. The Red Sox made some things happen, so I'd say that's the team that the Yankees have to worry about the most. But they got to worry about all the teams in the AL East because they're always going to be fighters. They're always gonna fight hard against the Yankees. They're always going to play hard against the Yankees. So, and we already know that. So it's not going to be easy. And there's other teams in the American League that I'm keeping my eye out on that I think are going to give the Yankees a hard time. And the Tigers and Royals are the two teams that I'm thinking of. And as far as the AL West, I mean, don't be surprised if it's both of the Texas teams. So the Astros and the Rangers, don't be in the least bit surprised. But hey, it's baseball. Anything is possible.
That's why you play the game.
Exactly.
It's not played on paper; it's played on a damn field. So, once again, I want to thank NFE from the Strike Zone for coming on board, supporting me this morning. Anyone who catches the stream or is here, support NFE. Join his channel there at the Strike Zone. I want to thank everyone that has come up and has supported me and the Ugly Truth. If you have the opportunity, please hit the like. If you haven't, subscribe and share this channel out with your folks that you may think gets value added from this type of a stream. I appreciate y'all, and let's go Yankees.
Talk to y'all later. See ya.
Yep.